Well, Luke, thanks for joining us. We've all calmed down and the heart rates have lowered since the weekend. Presumably, you've had a chance to watch that Dagenham match back. What do you make of it now?
Yeah, to be honest, I had family at the game, and we all went back to the apartment where we stay in Nottingham, and the kids went to sleep, and then my parents left, and then I put the game on. So it was a very, very late night, but I was never going to be able to sleep anyway, so I decided to review the game Saturday night or Sunday morning, early hours. And in reflection, I'm very, very pleased with the performance. I'm very, very disappointed, of course, with the result. I felt like I think the two shots that they had on target in the game, Dagenham, they'd done brilliantly well. I think the first goal, we barely do anything wrong, but speed and precision, which is two things that we try to really concentrate a lot, but really brilliant action from Dagenham, and full credit to them for that. But in the performance, I have to be honest with the players and say they performed at a very high level.
Having only lost one of the game this season, obviously at Dorking, it would be easy, I suppose, to compare the two. And I guess there are similarities in the sense of we didn't deserve to lose that Dorking game, in my opinion anyway. And we were probably hit with a few sucker punches in that game, just like we were at Dagenham. But was the Dagenham performance better for you?
Yeah, I think so, because we managed to control the majority of the game, and the level of the level of pressure on the opposition's box I thought was superb. Because when Dagenham set up really well and had a lot of players deep, and they had a very, very good mentality on the night to really throw their body in front of the ball and defend the box. But we hit the woodwork 4 times. We had 2 off the line. Maybe we can have on a different day a penalty. We had, I think, maybe 8 shots on target in the box. So I think we had more control, and we built more pressure for sustained periods of time than we did in the Dorking game. So it's difficult for me to criticise the players at all.
After the full time against Dagenham, there was confusion in the press box and later on social media, red card shown to Aidan Baldwin. How long is he going to be out for, and what sort of conversations, if any, have you had with Aidan since that happened?
Yeah, he's going to miss 2 games. He made a comment to the referee about his performance, which was over the line, deemed to be over the line by the referee, and so now he pays the price for that. And one or two, Dagenham celebrated a lot inside the tunnel area, and they have every right to do that, and that is not an issue at all. They are entitled to do however they want to celebrate the game. And some of the players were upset with the level of, or the way in which they celebrate the game, and so there was some crosswords in the tunnel area, and really the conversation was after we settled the players down and went inside our change room. The conversation was brief, but for me, I have to tell the players that they need to stay in control. This is about mentality. We don't celebrate too much when we win a game, and we also mustn't be too down and react too badly when we lose a game. And this is about continuing to develop the mentality of the group that if we play really, really well and we win, that's what's expected. It's not like time for a big party. And when we lose, particularly if we played really well, then we have to accept that we lost the game. We performed really, really well, but over the course of a season, even if you perform at a very high level, it's unlikely that you're just going to be able to win every single game. But we have to stay in control. Aidan lost control for a moment, and then 1 or 2 inside the tunnel area came close to losing control, and we have to be even better. We have to be even stronger mentally, and so the conversation was quite short, but we have to learn from that, and then we discuss again calmly when all the emotion is gone. We discuss again this morning, and make a few points to the players what I expect from them. And it's not for us to measure ourselves up against anybody else, only to measure ourselves against the best version of ourselves.
Obviously the Golden Prize, we all know what that is this season, but I think in football, you do need to appreciate the achievements that you rack up along the way. 25 games unbeaten, smashing a 93-year record. You've got to take some pride in that, you and the players, haven't you?
Yeah, we take pride. I think it just tells us that we're doing a lot of things correctly, and we shouldn't come away from that. I think that's the greatest thing, is to reinforce that. I think that there's no luck involved in that, really. You know, that's just a lot of very, very convincing performances, one after the other. In fact, I think the 2 games that we lost, we could have comfortably won. So I think it tells us that we're performing in a decent way. But yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't mean anything more than that. And I have to say, well done to the staff and to the players for the level of their work. It's fantastic, and also I think we want to make it clear to the fans that it's what they deserve. They deserve this type of commitment from us, to make sure that we approach every game, you know, thoroughly. That's what they deserve for sure, and so that's what it stands for. But unfortunately, it doesn't stand for more than that at this moment.
Absolutely, and let's look to the future then. 2-3 weeks in a way, obviously games at the end of both of those weeks, but this fortnight now, how much are you looking forward to it as a coach, being able to spend more time on the training ground and also be able to maybe nurse a couple of players back to full fitness?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we now have some time for guys to come back and be fully fit. We have some guys that are playing but holding on to something, and we have a chance for that to be better. And we have new players in the building that I need time to try to give them more advice and more understanding on the training pitch, and more meetings, and that we will try to use that time appropriately and responsibly to give the best that we can, the best help we can for the new players, and yeah, to recover the players that have been putting plenty of minutes on the pitch in tough games. Bromley
obviously play on a 4G surface. Now, after the Dorking game earlier in the season, we had questions coming in, completely fair and interesting questions about whether or not there's value in potentially training on 4G going into the game. So have we changed our plans a little bit this week?
Yeah, we have, and I think, you know, we try to learn from what we do. I still believe that the surfaces that we will train on this week are as different to Dorking's pitch as a grass pitch. I think that surface at Dorking is really unique for the league. I think the other artificial pitches in this division are more consistent, but the one at Dorking is really remarkable. Like how different it is to playing on a normal, like a more typical artificial pitch. And again, I need to be clear that there's nothing at all wrong with that. It's just that it's hard to find one similar. Very difficult to find one similar to that. But Bromley, we know the pitch is more similar to some artificial pitches that we have near us that we can go and train and try to be prepared, and so we're taking that approach for this game.
So I'm guessing that has been a group decision, hasn't it? Because 4Gs are often linked to injury, to fatigue, and all that sort of stuff. So presumably it's been a collaborative effort, and it's been decided that this is the best way forward.
Yeah, absolutely. We have to be careful with the amount of load and the type of loading that we do on the pitches to practice. But the big thing, big problem is like the shock effect from the body going from playing on the grass pitches in training, in the games, and then one big output from nowhere on an artificial pitch can potentially lead to problems. So we try to have a more staggered approach into the game, so that we can acclimatise somewhat to the surface that is going to be at the weekend, and hopefully that will safeguard the players a little bit more for the amount of load that they're going to have to do.
It's not only a different surface that we're going to have to prepare for, it's a very difficult opponent. Our record at Bromley has been disappointing since we've been at this level, and they are very, very tough to play against, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's one of the toughest opponents for sure. But you know, recently I think we played a lot of teams in a very good form, and a lot of teams that were very, very difficult to play against. Not one of the games I can remember feeling comfortable at all. And we had some big score lines, but you know, for example, Barnet was incredibly tough. It was such a good team. Southend was very, very tough, and in the end, like, yeah, it can sound more convincing than it felt, but we know that this game will be very, very difficult. But if we want to be taken seriously and try to continue to push at the very top, then we have to overcome every obstacle.
It's only Tuesday, but let's get some early team news. Kedwin Scott, what's the latest on him?
He trained today fully, full contact. Was brilliant to see Kedwin on the pitch, and him and Macca play number 9s in opposite teams today, and no problem. So we were anticipating, like, okay, let's see what the reaction is afterwards, but no problem so far. And he's, at this moment, he's in the gym, so everything went well today.
I can see a hint of a smile on your face there. You happy with that one?
Yeah, of course, because Kedwin is a brilliant, brilliant player, and he knows every single thing about how we work, and he's so reliable. He can play in different positions, and I'm so happy that he's back with us now, training fully.
A man that we've been missing for quite a while now, Richard Brindley.
Yeah, he's a difficult one with Brins because he had an ongoing problem with his back that we tried to really explore more thoroughly than we did in the past, because it was something that flared up, settled down, flare up, and in the end we said, okay, it's too disruptive and we need to get to the bottom of that, and we've managed to get to the root of the problem, and now we have like a sort of a program to try to help Brins to come back and be able to be more stable. And of course, he's a really good player, we know, and he's been a huge part of us being so competitive, and we hope that he's going to be full training soon, and then of course he needs some time to get back up to his match fitness, but he's on the right track. And
a man who I think's been so unfortunate, having missed quite a lot of football and coming back, and then within 45 minutes injuring himself. Toby Adebayo-Rolling?
Yeah, it's an upsetting one for Toby, because we'll need to have surgery. So that is a big blow. But Toby's one of these guys. He's so well put together that he will heal very, very well. And even if he lost half his pace, he's still the quickest thing around. So we look forward to helping Toby, with his rehabilitation. Can be a really tough time, but we have great staff, and we try to all to help him, to keep him a part of everything we're doing. And Toby will be with us for a more longer term, because thankfully he's under contract with us, and we look forward to seeing him back on the training pitch, hopefully by the end of the season.
What about Frank Vincent?
Yeah, so Frank, unfortunately, he wore the wrong footwear to training, and like a slider, which is it's normal really, and I'm as much to blame as anybody, because I need to make very clear. And other things we have done this with travel arrangements and different things that I'm quite fussy around, and I should know better, because my experience, I suffered this type of thing once when a player slipped because the slider doesn't support for indoors on the carpet, or the side of the swimming pool is a bit different on holiday or whatever. But so unfortunately something went inside his foot, and wasn't a big deal. He didn't think too much of it and continued, and he played and he trained, and then he got infected. And then with the infection, then it makes like a wound, an open wound, when they clear the infection. So I'm so upset with myself, with Vinny. I'm so upset, and he's the best guy, and he's the most honest guy. He never does anything like deliberately wrong. So now we have to wait for it to heal, and then he can be back to training.
So it's fair to say that, with the exception of Toby, we've got players moving in the right direction. Where does that leave you in terms of the squad? Are you and the recruitment team prioritising bringing anybody else in, or is it not necessarily an urgent thing, do you not think?
I don't think so much urgent. We have good numbers now, and we need to try to help the players to get up to speed that have just joined us. And when you think John Bostock joined us like really in the thick of everything, and that's a process to get to, and I've moved his position, which is not helpful, but I know how good he is and what qualities he has, so try to move around a little bit of positions. But Jody has been with us for just a few weeks, and games and games and games, and now Connor joins us as well. We need everyone to get up to speed, and the guys are doing brilliant with that, but it's just a time thing. And so we now have a little bit of a calmer schedule, and so we try to get those guys up to speed. And yes, of course, if we think that we need to bring another player, then the recruitment team have got everything lined up in all the different positions.
Just to end on a word on Connor, obviously your most recent addition, I thought he, Jody and Sam Austin made a fantastic impact on Saturday. How impressed were you with how quickly he was able to get right into the thick of the action and provide so many exciting moments, having only been with us a couple of days?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first of all, I think it's really important to say that, you know, Jim and John came off relatively early in the second half, but I was very happy with their performance. I thought both guys were very, very good, no problem at all. But in the moment of the game, 1-1, and I felt like we were very, very on the front foot. And from my experience, I'm looking, think, okay, we're comfortable in the build-up. We're able to stop counter-attacks. And so now is a great time for more energy, excitement with a new player coming on. Jody with his quality to unlock in the tight areas. And so these guys all came on and they done really, really well. And we did manage to stem the flow of counter-attack pretty much until one. And really one really meaningful counter-attack that cost us. But I've no regrets in terms of you know, the changes. And as you said, I thought that Connor looked like so comfortable in the position and so aggressive in the box, and Jody, of course, bring us something a bit different because of his dribbling ability and the way he strikes the ball from the edge of the box. So I'm very happy with the way that the guys came on and gave new energy and performed really well.
You won't have seen the reaction on social media to our first defeat in 25 games, but you will have seen the reaction in the stands and your team being clapped off, and on social media it was very, very supportive, and everybody feels very much together at the minute. Do you feel that going into this weekend? Do you feel that one defeat has not affected us in any real negative way, and that it's just a case of picking ourselves up and going again, to use footballing cliche? Yeah,
no, look, I mean, first of all, there was no doubt we felt warmth from the fans, and you know, we needed that in that moment. We really needed that, because when I went on the pitch and look at the players, it was like a disbelief, really. You know, a disbelief, and nothing away from Dagenham. You know, they were warriors. They were really warriors on the pitch, and yeah, of course they rode some luck at times, of course, but that's part of football. You know, to be brave enough to, you know, when maybe you suffer like one or two actions and we hit the post and we clear, then teams can go under. But Dagenham, they didn't go under. They stayed, you know, focused, and so brilliant. But still, I looked at my players and they I can see in their eyes, I find it difficult to believe that we didn't win the game, and bare minimum we didn't draw the game. And so when we're on the pitch there and we feel so terrible, to feel the warmth from the fans was really, honestly, amazing. Like, and I felt guilty for them, for not giving them. They deserve to see us score two goals more, for sure. I really felt like that, and we have to now give them more of what they deserve, and we have to, because they gave us love, but we have to earn that. We have to continue to earn that. And we know that. We absolutely know that. You cannot rest on anything. We appreciate their support so much, and we now need to help them to keep supporting us by showing how determined we are to try and put this right.